More likely. Okay guys, today I'll be a bit shorter with the streaming. I won't be streaming until 12 o'clock. Just a moment. Okay, so where was I? Well, yeah, with this. Another thing is, guys, I realized that I need to clean this up a bit, and that I already have the majority of the rear done based on what I've done previously for when I was building the first time this vehicle. So yeah, for those who are first time on the stream, I've already developed this car for a client back in 2024 September. So right now I'm just redeveloping it completely, just completely. Anyway, I'm really just trying to create my own piece, my own kind of version of that, so to just have it on my portfolio, really, because the other one I just could not due to NDA and all that, you know how it is. So yeah. There it is, Tak, which is part of Takifuji, the scan that previously we had. hope that's not the case. If it is, I'm gonna have tricky problem there to solve it. I have apparently extruded like the whole model over itself. Yeah, it's something that I did in a matter of the past 50 minutes. That's something, yeah, just completely different. Okay, I'm gonna go again and solve this out to remove the scan files, scan data here that I won't need. It's just additional data that, you know, it's not really necessary for the weight of the files once saved. You know, the way I'm doing saving on these works is obviously that incremental saving. So I have like 76 files of this car, and each of them it's weighing around 50 megabytes. So much of that is unnecessary because of these polygons here that are not really cleared out. They shouldn't have been cleared out necessarily at the start, but right now I don't see any point why they would be remaining, right? So it's just better to remove them. Okay, so Monday's first development of the car and starting of the week. I really hope that this week probably I'll finish the whole engine. Today I'm not gonna stream a lot. Today it will be pretty much for an hour or two, because afterwards I have to leave. But yeah. And I'm talking like crazy here while I've been mute for the whole time. Thank you, Blaster. I did not notice that, man. I was on the phone, and that's when I mute myself, so I did not realize. Sorry, guys. Anyway, so yeah, what I was saying is that I'll be streaming today. Like, let's catch up with the most important thing that I mentioned. So is that I'll be streaming only until 11:30, which is only hour more or something like that. Because after that I have to go. No, ignoring. I'm not ignoring you or anyone else in that for that matter. So don't think of it. I'll never will. So I have some work to do, and that's why I'll be streaming only roughly an hour more. Then I have to continue with the projects I have for the clients I work on. I work for. So that will be that for today. Tomorrow will be the stream will be, a bit longer because I would like to compensate on what I've supposedly lost today. I will lose today in terms of time. I can of course work on it in my spare time, but after my streaming times and all that. But I just want to get burnout. I want to be disciplined in that matter. I want to have it all filmed. I want to just work on this car while I'm only streaming. So yeah, that makes only sense probably to me. But anyway, what else I was saying is that yeah, kind of the thoughts escaped me right now. I'm not really sure what I was speaking of previously, and I believe it was also important. Anyway, what I wanted to say is also that I'm very happy that the video that I have shared on my YouTube page has has been received very well, and that some people also offered collaborations. I don't want to take that for granted, I don't count on it, or I'm still thinking whether should I go that way or not, because still there's a lot more to be done with this vehicle. It's not finished, and I don't want to be hijacked in a way that it's released before it should be. It's all I'm trying to say. So I will very much like this to be finished, or that's what I'll be aiming at, to finish this vehicle entirely. That is the whole rear end, and then to create the livery for it, just like with the Ford 34 Legend that I have, to do that, and then to create probably cinematic, which I hope will include a racetrack of a kind, or just probably visualizations on the racetrack at first, and then maybe because I have to be real with myself that creating a whole animation on a racetrack or something like that would be probably too much for one person. Too much in regards to the facts that I'm also working on other stuff. It's not only this, so I cannot really spend that much time, working only on this. And developing something like a cinematic would pretty much require that, so but we will see. What's your primary click? Pen button or tap on tablet like default? Um, for selecting, I have to click, but for everything else, I have to click. You know, on the first click. I don't know how it's called. It's first click or right click. No, left click, right click, left and right. Like on mouse, you would have left and right. So you have to select, but you have to use both. Primary click would be the left one, I would say. The actually what this is, it's also used as a middle click. That's why I got confused, because every single time I have to get around and fix the pen tablet settings. I'm always confused on how they were and what I needed to do. Not again. God damn it. Blaster, I just read now your comment, man. Thank you so much for that. Thank you very much, guys. Really much appreciated. Thank you very much. I really like what I've presented here. I love when people, I mean, I don't know how to say it, else this. There are people that you barely know. You not barely know, you never met, but you share the same passion. You share, um, you know, you have the same, how to say this. You're looking at certain things in the same way. I'll say, uh, and they will be the ones that will be supporting you more than your closest friends, which is weird. Uh, so, I mean, it's amazing to me. And recently, the support I've gotten from certain people in the industry, it has been, yeah. I'm very, very grateful. maybe just natural. I mean that certain thing can be admired and respected only by people who know what you've been, uh, what it takes to build such thing. Not necessarily that your friends won't understand it, or they just won't actually. But what I meant to say is that they won't support you. They do, but it's just a different kind of thing. I think I know what it is right now. Actually, right now started working again, but for a moment it didn't. And I thought it's something got to with the connection that dropped just a moment ago. Universal truth, says Blaster. Strangers and online people who become buddies always support a whole lot more than real people who we know more. It's pretty much like that. Probably that is. I mean, I don't want to be negative in the sense that I overlook some things of close friends. No, I don't. I mean, they are appreciative and all that, but sometimes, of course, they would not be that interested because I mean, that's not their job. Like they don't care for that much as you do. But when you do that on the internet and you naturally shift and move towards people who do what you do and you share that with them, it's just natural that they would understand much more and they would be appreciative of it much more. It's just natural, I would say. Just like, for example, friends of mine who work in specific industries, I would understand thing, but I know that if I see that something it means a lot to them, I can understand that it's something big, and try to be part of that and in a way, celebrate that. So this needs to be backwards like that. Okay, so where we are now, I need to actually, not that I want to, but I need to make these beveled. This is still not finished. There's actually a lot more to go with this. I need to bevel these and bevel them carefully, because one bevel that I might displace, it won't work. I mean, it's nothing scary in the sense that I miss it or not, will or wouldn't work. I can always go back and try it again, but all I'm saying is it can be tricky to make it work. and we need that so to have a nice flow of geometry all around it. One of the earliest of misconceptions I had about 3D modeling is that everything has to look like this, you know, smooth it, when it's actually the real form. It's like this one, the rigid one. uh, this now I'm going back to the first, you know, hours of me trying to learn 3D in the academy, when I've been doing that back in 2016. um, and at the time everything looked so complicated to me. I believed that everything has to make sense, and everything has, each and every mesh had to be you know, in its own, how to say else, pocket of a kind, uh, like placeholder, if that makes sense. I wouldn't know, you know, like everything that needs to be merged and all that. But truth is they don't. You can leave n-gons if you wish, you can leave triangles, you can leave all kinds of things really. It's important that they work only uh, when it matters, which is if it's for rendering or for rigging, that the mesh it's not a problematic one and can work even like that. So if there is n-gon to you know, some specific place which is not gonna be rigged, it's no big deal. But still, in like studios would require not to have those. So you know, what I'm trying to say is that I did not took any longer 3D modeling that serious as I had it in the start, where I believed everything is sacrosanct. You know, no, this is how it must be done. You know, once I threw out that notion out of the window, I kind of liberated myself in doing pretty much anything I can think of. Like, it's no big deal, right? Anyone can do anything if they put an amount of time. Yeah, I do get compliments right now and all that, but truth is I'm working on this vehicle since July 25. So it's not done like this week, this month, or the past 2 months. It's done since July 25th. That's like almost 9 months of work. Let's say that, of course, this has been done in my spare time. I haven't worked on it like, you know, every single day for 8 hours, and that like you would be, you know, on a project. But I just worked on it whenever I had the time, and this I'm developing since, like I've said, July 20, you know, 25. So with back and forth. So yeah, if you have time, can you show any of your previous finished model wireframe? Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't have the wireframe. I haven't made render of it, but this is the model I had previously done. You can see the car. So this is the vehicle that previously has been done, and you would see here, for example, I had the lever and all that, but look how basic that is compared to what I have right now. uh, if I go, where is, yeah, now I have this, right, with all more details and all that, refined, UV mapped properly, sorted out, geometry, blah blah blah, you name it, the dashboard completely, the pedals and everything. So for example, how the wireframe looks, it's pretty much like this. There are some renders I have it of it here. Maybe I think I had some image of it, really. Yeah, not here. Let me try and see if I can gather something. Where was it? The visual cars, images, renders. No, I don't. Simply, I did not care to make much, to be honest. Yeah, but I love the car and how it looked. Oh, Oh my. What I do know is that I have the back here. I have the back from I mean, that's why I was kind of puzzled, because I know in the previous model I did this back part. This one here. This box. So suddenly I cannot find it here. If I unhide everything and hide the scan, the rear part is still missing. And I'm like, wait a sec, I worked on that, I did that, where is it? So it happened that I have accidentally deleted while working on this saved file here, but I of course retrieved it from the other files that I had saved previously. So we pretty much have the rear part as well, but it has to be integrated with the main here that it's located. So this section here and the section that will be here will have to be connected somewhere around this point. This more or less. So yeah, that will be it. I mean, once I do that, I'll focus a bit more on the rear end to polish it and all that, to make the tail lights here a bit better. The front will have to be also, I mean, these are UV mapped already. These are ready. So I just have to texture them. And once we do that, after that, it's easy. Hi, Dolly Crane. Hi, mate. After that, we will have delivery. And that will be the most fun, probably. No, definitely I'll have most fun when I'll be creating visualizations of it, like this and that, playing with the car basically. But the process of the car coming alive with the texture, with the livery, like this, it's something I also enjoy like a lot. I used to draw a lot of cars like that when I was a kid, like just, you know, create the textures and livery designs or how it would look like and things like that. So really guys, when I just think back on it, I'm 36. I used to draw cars since I was a very little kid, and I since always wanted to learn 3D. And now just thinking on it, going all the way back to those times, now that I'm able to do this, it just I'm just so happy. I mean, it's so cliche to say it, but I really am. I just enjoy this a lot. Now for this other part that I don't have much details, guys, I'm just gonna go with blocking out. Like, I cannot see much what's going on below, and there is no point in me now wasting so much time on it. I have a lot more things to do on this car that will be actually seen. This is gonna be on the bottom, so I will just do some kind of blockouts, pretend that something is like that. Which is why in the description of wherever I'm mentioning this work, I'm saying it's authentic, that it's created based on a 3D scan, which is unique. I mean, I don't know anyone who has a 3D scanned engine and the details of this car specifically, which is a engineering marvel of the 80s. So it's based on that, but the things that I cannot see, I have to interpret in my own creative way. So that's why I'll always mention that it's with a creative twist. It's not like exactly to the point, but as authentic as possible, which is, you know, a different thing. You're not 36. Why all handsome looking guys are above 30 plus? Yeah, what I've said the other day. If that's the compliment I'm getting here, that means I have to do a lot more work. Thank you, though, I guess. Anyway, actually, this section needs to be parallel to that one, so I'll have that instead. Wait a sec, was it not that of same level? Yep, it wasn't. Look at that. No biggie. No biggie. Pretty much okay. Something off. Yeah, that's what's off. So, am I missing here anything? Yep. That. Oh my, there's gonna be a lot of beveling here. Dolly Crane, how it's going with the car that you've been developing? You mentioned something, it's been a long time ago now, like probably some months. Like, I mean, certainly more than 4 months for sure. The last time we spoke about, actually when you mentioned doing your car, I believe it was probably September, something like that. Anyway, I mean, it just, some time has passed. Really curious if you've done or to what level you are with that vehicle. Genuinely curious. Second attempts. Oh wait, I totally forgot to ask you how many UDIMs this car has so far and how much you go for a full finished car. It has a lot. It has a lot. Blaster, I will tell you that. It has around 20 different materials, and each of them has around 2 UDIMs per material, and probably more than 20 materials, even more. So it's a lot, like probably 40, 50, something like that. Yeah, I'm on Cobra Shelby, but I have issues with my PC. Oh man, the Cobra. Such a lovely car. Great history with that one. Lovely car. Veer and Oleg are streaming right now. Lots, like maybe 100 units for all objects combined. Not that much, but certainly there are a lot of. There will be a lot of. That's sure. I'm doing this right now, guys, because I pretty much like when actually, you know what? No. Actually, it has to remain like that, except I wanted only the outer circle to be more of a circle, really, rather than that. Ah, GK is live now, but I work with blueprints. I don't have scans like you do. Well, I mean, it's no big deal. That's how I work too. I'm working based on blueprints. But for this car, I did have, you know, I developed the whole chassis around based on the scan, and then used these blueprints for the back. So I made the whole change for the back. But when I don't have those, of course, and I don't have them much, I use, like, of course, like blueprints and the 3D scan, what I'm trying to say in this case, it's only doing me justice for the engine. The engine and the details like those that otherwise you cannot really see. So, and that really makes the work easier, of course. So, yeah. GK, thank you for the follow. Yeah, GK 3D. GK, that's interesting name. GK is here and he ended his stream. I never came across him, but really curious, really. Just the other day I was looking up to see who else is doing 3D, if I can find more people, you know, in this community, for this community. Who else is doing 3D? Like, I know Oleg, I know Nimlot, Andrew Hodson, Veer from time to time, Barton 3D, Biba did it a few times. Yeah, I mean, I came across his name. Yeah, I do, but I haven't seen him stream. That's what I'm trying to say. You should. The whole idea, guys, and how I began streaming is that what the hell is happening right now with this? That was a bug. Is after COVID ended and work resumed, and you know, like I was working throughout the COVID still, but once the COVID ended, not that it officially ended, you know, but anyway, you know what I mean. Everything went back to normal and all that. So studios hiring again, working not remotely, no longer working only remotely. Everything going back more or less to normal. So did podcasts, like whoever built up like a podcast during those times. They kind of took what's the word? I mean, they became popular, is what I wanted to say. So I was watching one podcast on 3D, and there has been several guys speaking in those podcasts that they've learned a lot through streaming. And I was thinking, just why don't try the same? Because since ever I'm doing this, and why not try that? Because they learned apparently a lot through streaming, you know. Being interactive with people, filming in the same time, you cannot really escape this and say, okay, I'll do it later. No, you're working on it right now, and people are watching you, and so on and so on. So it's a bit different. It's more like I'm seeing that like you being in a school, right? You cannot just decide that you're not gonna do something. You have to do it because you're there, and there is a like professor, or, you know, on top of your head and things like that. Anyway. Enough of my philosophies. You never use surface modeling. What do you mean by surface modeling? You guys have to forgive me, but I'm always kind of confused when people ask me like, "What's are you using this or that?" For me, this is surface modeling. Maybe you're referring to NURBS and work with curvatures. If that's the question, I use, but not always. For example, I used for these pillars here. So once I had the retopology done on this, I took like the curve, so to make like proper straight shapes afterwards, and rebuild this these straight line shapes entirely to now make sense like this. I'm not sure whether I answered your question correctly. So yeah, like Autodesk Alias. I've never used it. I've seen it though, Dolly Crane. I've seen it. It looks awesome, but yeah, never tried it. Have you done any work in it? I see that it's working very nice, like proper for designing cars and I mean, it goes to be said for pretty much every software. Like, I remember when I got plasticity, is that it showed like great stuff being built in it, right? And still, here I am, year and a half after that, I still don't know how to use plasticity. All because I'm too much invested into my own works that I don't like to spend any other time that I have free to try and learn other things unless I have to. For example, working for a client, I had to learn Blender to export these files as GLBs and prepare them in Blender and all that, so I had to learn it, and I did. But now, in my spare time, to try and go around new softwares while I want to improve my portfolio is like, I always make the analogy of skiing. I love skiing a lot, guys. I don't know if you know anything about that, or whoever knows or not about me. I love skiing a lot. Like fanatically, I love it. If there is like a bit snow, I'll go out and I'll try ski it, you know. So whenever I go skiing, it's like I have only these 10 days on which, you know, there is snow, and I'd like to use the most of it, because today snow is very scarce, you know, there is not much snow of it. So you try to use all the time that's given you, right? So now to go and waste it on trying to learn like snowboarding, for me it's like waste of time, and I just want to go and out there, you know, and enjoy skiing. So that's pretty much the analogy I'm always making when I try to learn new software. For example, I mean, when it comes to modeling, because that doesn't go to, you know, to be said the same for Unreal Engine or Substance Painter or Substance Designer, or, you know, softwares like those that will improve your workflow. I don't see anyhow Blender will improve what I'm doing right now only by learning Blender, right? So that's pretty much why I haven't had still the nerves to go and learn it. But sure enough, guys, I want to do it. So I hope once I finish with the models I'm planning on, you know, to work on and finish them. Once I do that, there you will read a title which will say one big noob is trying to learn Blender. That will be me. And I hope that you guys can step up then and show me some tricks in Blender and how they're done. Yeah, that's true, I guess, but I really don't know anything in Blender other than setting up a scene. I do know like basic controls. It's not that I don't. It's just I don't have the control even remotely that I have here. So it's pushing me back. Like, why am, you know, putting myself to this, you know, how to call it, I don't know, when I can just do it in Maya. And every single time I just, you know, option for what's easier for me at the time, which is just do it with Maya. But I mean, just yesterday I couldn't sleep. I was standing up until 2 a.m. and what I did, I was looking up some reels on Instagram of whether Blender is better or Maya is better. Like there has been some arguing and whatnot, and I don't understand these people, arguing about that, because a good 3D artist is not about what software he's using and whether he's using some industry standard or not. It's like the more you know, the better you are. So you have to know both. It's not that you should limit yourself to only one. And it's really silly when you come across that. At least I am like almost pissed. Like I'm taking it personally, which I shouldn't really, because it's not against me or anyone. It's just a discussion, but I just don't get it. So anyway, was waiting 10 minutes to say hi. So hello Avramovsky, nice to see you. Blender vs Maya is the biggest controversy in the world. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for the follow, GK. Nice to see you here. I did saw you on Oleg's stream several times. Blaster surely reminded me of, but I haven't seen you stream so far. Maybe I just did not came across you. Let me see. I think yeah, there is a follow, because I would like to see what you do when you'll be streaming eventually. In any case, now I'm curious why one had to wait for 10 minutes to say hi. Maybe it's because of the it has to be, obviously. What else could be? Because of the settings. But I just think that one had to wait 5 minutes, not 10. But maybe anyway, I don't mind it, and people who really want to say anything, 10 minutes it's nothing, I would say, given the how many bots there are around that would spoil the experience for everyone. So I thought of it would be better if I just try to protect that, and even if there are less people, it would be better if it was carefree like that. I was going through your whole ArtStation, man. You're good at modeling. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. What are you working on, by the way? For example, I love cars. I think you could tell that by looking at my ArtStation and probably some product designs. I surely have stated so. But I suck at creating characters. I don't like that. It would be like a waste of time to do that for me. For myself, I'm speaking. I'm not saying nobody else should do it, of course. Anyway, so yeah. Oh, Blaster, thank you very much. Thank you. I mean, we're all trying, no matter how. I'll say this. My favorite driver, which was Sebastian Vettel, he had a nice thing to say one time, being asked about all the praises he got while he has been a driver, actual driver and champion and all that. He says, and I'm sure this is not his alone, many people can attest to that, is that you are never as good as people say you are, and you're never as bad as people think you are. So GK, do exactly what you GK is working exactly on what I suck. that sounds ridiculous. Okay guys, I don't suck. I mean, I'm mainly a 3D character but learning right now. Awesome. I'm pretty sure you came across the Dark Knight I've done. That's the only thing in regards to characters I've ever done. And there has been also another one for a client that I worked on. It was more or less like a robot. Not more or less, but it was a robot. So it still falls kind of in the category of a hard surface, you know, being able to do so. So I took it and did it, and the client was super happy. The work was great, but when it comes to sculpting, when it comes to, you know, creating these characters, anatomy of it, and all that, I just don't have the nerves for it. And again, when I was just a kid, you know, in school and learning things, uh, there is only one thing I always did, which was drawing cars. So I wasn't really good in characters or animals, you know. I believe it's very important for people to know what they're good at and enhance on that. I mean, you cannot work everything. Uh, if you try, you'd be lost, more or less. I've been lost, I've realized that, and I decided that it's time, like, I need for real to invest my time in developing only cars, doing, you know, what I like, what I truly like. So here I am. Started with a Ford 34 Legend, then developed the Ferrari 488 Evo for our AAA champion from Macedonia in European Hill Climb Championships, Igor Stefanovski. He's one of the greatest drivers in the Hill Climb Championships in Europe. I had the luck of meeting him personally. He even gave me like tickets, basically for free to, you know, to go and check his documentary movie that was made about him in our country here. So that's one project I'm very proud of. The Ferrari that you're seeing on my portfolio, it's that car, his car. He's racing with it. That car, I stood next to it, like, you know, and so on. GK, thanks for coming by, and see you some other time. Nice of you to stop by, and I don't know how, but these are... This is all the doing of the pen. It's like I'm grabbing too many things in the background I'm not aware of. Bye bye, GK. Have a nice day and wish you a quite productive week, man. What's the time? 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock. 30 minutes more to go. And then I'll stop. Now, let's take this. Finally, once and for all, to try and do something with it. To try and make the bevels and start from somewhere. At least I cannot just grab everything. There's so much intertwined here, parts, that I don't really have a clue on what connects with which or how it should go, what would be the network in these yeah, actually, first of all, maybe it would be better if I just do the model itself, like complete this section with the bottom, so I have like complete part. What that is now here, I have no idea, but all I can see, it's there's like this pin going upwards. So I'll just do this, do that, not like that though, bit off. What else? So we have like this in here, just something like that. This is dropped. There's like this circle here, so it continues up until this. Then there is that, some kind of tube passing by here, I guess. It would have been nice if I had now the other part I have made. Hey Willem! Hi mate! Great dude. I'm more or less completing this tricky detailed metal block here that is in the central part of the engine. Once I finish that, it's gonna be pretty much smooth on that point onwards, because all I have to do is deliver these springs, the tubes here with details, and it will be more interesting even, I mean, for anyone really to see anything, because what I'm working on right now, it's quite bothering me. It's quite boring. I am bored, let alone if anyone is watching, I don't know. I'm probably detrimental to the stream right now, but I mean, that's just the fact. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to finish this and make sense of it and how it works. Definitely will try and block it out somehow here. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe that would be better if I just did it the other way around, like this. How are you, by the way, Willem? Monday, new week. I'm very glad we kind of connected like that. That's the power of, I'd say, the internet. I love this. That's why I'm streaming, guys. I like that very much, man. So, I mean, sure, we can, you know, collaborate on this, on what we, just to touch on what we talked. So surely we can collaborate on that and so on, but first I want to finish this vehicle entirely. This morning I have also shared this vehicle with the director at the studio where I've been contracted to create the Genesis Magma. So they have like whole studio and people working with cinematics and all these things, and it's scary, guys, to tell you honestly how much AI it's integrated into the pipeline. Pretty much everything was done with the help of an AI, but yeah, anyway, so I showed them the vehicle yesterday after I published the YouTube video. They were very happy, you know, with the work. This is again my own personal work, so it's not related to the studio, but they were they appreciated it so much that they offered me like to create like whole cinematic video around it. So that's great as well, but I don't want to push it. I don't want to just jump, you know, like from this point on that point. I still want to take it slow and complete the whole model, you know, UV mapped, proper texturing, all the details to visualize it. And once that as a whole is finished, then to move on whether I can hopefully rig it, create some kind of animation. Yeah, there will be time for that. I'm eating and watching you, so I'm not bored. Enjoy your meal, Blaster. Good to hear. Doing great here, mate. Working on company showreel at the moment. That must be a great stuff. I don't know which video, if any, you've seen from from those that I've shared. I completely understand if you haven't. I do share those videos with friends of mine when I've, you know, at the time when I've done them, and they all just skip them. So I mean, not everyone, you know, is sharing our passion for video and, you know, video editing, stuff like that. But I tell you, I was very much invested into it. You know, to hit the right notes at the right time, integrating it with the music and so on, like every single detail. And if you go back, guys, and look at the Porsche short video I just made, the last video I published, you would notice that the title, it's coming out right on point when the notes will hit, like tung, and there is one, another one, the text pops up, and then the third one, when it clicks, it's just the car coming up. So I mean, that's what I like about video editing, combining the music with the video and playing around that emotion. But and that's what I've been talking about, William, the other yesterday when I wrote you, because other than that I wouldn't know how to really edit VFX alike stuff for a video. I'm not good with masking or creating rotoscopes and try to create these complex effects on videos. I don't know, but I just enjoy creating a story, playing like that with music, and with the, you know, basically that's it, like creating a story. So that's it. Can you can imagine the client was very surprised with that video? Yes, he was. Yes, he was, indeed. They're very heavily invested into developing a cinematic for one World Endurance Championship team, with whom they're related on developing that cinematic, for which I've been developing this vehicle, the Genesis Magma, but just like basically without anything. It's just a 3D model. So everything else was done with the help of AI, like the whole texture and everything, which is, and texturing livery. It's livery actually. The livery, it's much more complicated than this, and they've made it in such a nice way. It looks amazing. It looks amazing, guys, and I'm just gobsmacked on how good it is. What scares me the most, it's not that the AI managed to create that, but the fact that it's not only one still image, it's a whole video, and the livery, it's like very much precise. Yeah, Blaster, yep. Let me show you this video that I can show, because that's what I mentioned about the other work. I cannot show anything, but I'm sure you had some experiments with AI, or if you haven't, try this. For example, this is a car I also did for a client last year. There you go. Look at that. So all of this, you know, it's crazy. And for still images, it's one thing, but doing it in a video where every frame, you know, being different from different angle and all that has to be stable, it's a different thing. Okay, we have some details there. This over here. Maybe I'll just make sense of it like this, guys. Still like a, okay, now I see why I'm tangling like 10 other pieces around while trying to select one here. It's selected something else in the background completely different. So come on. Okay. So that point will go up until here. It will be something like that. And this, we will close it somehow. While this thing in here, let's make it flattened according to that there. And just now how it should be, I have no idea, guys. I have no idea, but what I do know is that there is a floor here very close. This probably needs to be supported on the ground, so maybe, just maybe, no, okay. If you are in the process of doing some command on this model, but you select something else like this complicated 3D scan here geometry, everything is lost. Willem, are you there, mate? Wanted to ask you about how you approach that with a Porsche. I very much liked the lights in the background that you had. I actually showed it to my wife yesterday. She was amazed by it. She loved it as well. I mean, it's great. It's very nice, you know, appliance of lights, effects, dramatic moments like shaking of cameras and all that. I've seen how to make it in Unreal Engine with the shaking of the camera, but still I haven't done it so far. Much of the things that I want to do with this car I haven't done up until now, and I still haven't actually. So hope I will soon. I only used to chat and generate some visuals of concept artworks to use as references. Also, why are you adding details on parts which is hidden or not showed in camera angle? This is 3D. This is third attempt. Well, it's because I want to have all the details like that I believe will be relevant. Now, this part will not be seen much, but still will be relevant when, for example, you have the car like this. Wait a sec. So, this is part of the engine. This is the body. Now let me hide the scan. So, we remove this. Beneath there will be a floor like this. This is going actually much higher. It will be like this. And lower here, probably. It will be very much important that when you have these shadows, it's showed properly on the bottom. You see that below? Like, it's important for the complexity of the model. For like, what's art? You're trying to make something that's believable. That when people see it, they believe it is what you're trying to show them that it is. For example, be it a character or a car, you know, and so on. Yeah, sure, the car looks great from the outside, but if I'm showing the engine and the engine is like just flat or there is nothing on the bottom, it doesn't make sense, at least not to me. And again, it's no big problem for me to just spend some hours and try to do it. That's what I'm trying to do, like just have decent amount of details that would make the difference between a good and hopefully great 3D model. For that, other peoples will be the judge, you know, when the time comes. Right now, all I have to do is do the work, spend the time, not only the time, but try to build this model as I believe it should be built. Again, it's no big deal to do some stuff on the bottom that will not be seen. Like, it's nothing major here, look, and I mean, all of this can be actually combined because there is no point on having them all like that spread out. This too, this actually can be put like that. Maybe this just on the other side, so there is a bit of tolerance when UV map comes in. Now we have these two lines here that are pretty much aligned, so we'll try to have some uniformity like that. Close it. I'll tell you, Blaster, in the studio where I've worked on these race room vehicles for the race room simulation, everything that we could hide here we did. Like, if this is not seen, it's just like flat, you know, there's nothing else. But this is not entirely for a game, or if at all for a game, because for a game they won't allow you to have this much polygons. So certainly I would say it's not for that, but it's more like for visualization and just to try and recreate, to put it simply, just as possible, as close as possible, an authentic digital representation of how this Porsche looks in real life. Now, obviously, I cannot go into the utmost details, you know, that are engineered with alias or fusion, you know, and how this vehicle was brought up, because I don't have all the technical engineering data, so I cannot do that. It's just an artistic interpretation of this vehicle, trying to be as real as possible. That's it. Like, I don't know how else to put that. Thanks, man. Good to hear, says Willem. Did not had edit plan or anything, just some test renders edited together. Part of test was a realistic anamorphic image with flares. Main reason for the lights. No, indeed, man. It looked great. I was, you know, trying to do something else. While actually I was creating the video of mine, my wife came in the room and, you know, calling for dinner and all that. And I'm like, I gotta show you something. This guy, today I met this guy who made this. Look at this. This is amazing, and so on and so on. And she says, yeah, it's looking very great and all that, you know. Well, I tell her I want to learn this, you know, because I don't know how to say it, because it might be too much for, yeah, you want to do 3D modeling, you want to do rigging, you want to do racing. You cannot do everything. That's what I'm telling. Kind of, I'm speaking to myself now. I cannot do everything, but I really would love to be able at least to just try and do some cinematics with any car, not just this one, but to try and, you know, tell a story, because I love doing that, probably even more than modeling. I don't know, when I create some when I've created some tribute videos, I enjoy them so much. I could just sit and watch them on replay for hours and hours and hours. Like, I like that. Yeah, good for him. Good for him. I cannot catch him up with him right now. I'm working on my stuff. So next project would be building a proper racetrack, thinking about recreating Spa, oh my god, and make some cinematics. We can maybe a little co project. Absolutely, I'll be completely up for it. Speaking of Spa, guys, I just gotta share with you, because Willem here is doing sim racing. I love sim racing, and there is something I've done as well, specifically for Spa, and sure enough, I posted on my personal Instagram page. Friends of mine would be like, "Are you? I mean, you're grown up. You shouldn't do that. Like, it's just a game. Aren't you ashamed of it?" And things like that, which is funny, really. Look at that.
Helmet cam, ladies and gentlemen.
This is what it looks like.
You can follow the dash. I mean, take a view through your Rouge and just watch this. This is epic.
Oh, so yeah, just sit back and listen to this.
Can I just track?
What's so good about this is you can actually see what's happening on the dash as well. You can see he made a torque change, so he obviously wanted something very different for the first corner. Up at the end of the first sector, you can see something very different. You can see that green minus 0.07, that's his reference time of what he's done before.
It makes it a lot more human suddenly, doesn't it, when you can see what the driver sees and how they look to the apex as well, and you see how this the pillar of the halo doesn't really get in the way. It doesn't affect your vision in the corner. It's more just in a straight line, but obviously you're looking through that. The human eye sort of blurs it out as you look further on. But what it also does is it highlights how brutal the ride is.
Yeah.
Yes, again, your eyes compensate.
Yeah, sim racing with VR, it's just next thing. Willem, I don't know if you've tried it. I'm sure you did, but I wouldn't know. So if you did, you know already. If you haven't, I urge you to try it, because it's unbelievable. You're the one on top, right? No, that's Fernando Alonso. I'm on the bottom, but you knew that. That was a rhetorical question. Uh, no. I was on the bottom. Anyway, I mean, it just goes to show, man, that you know how close simulations are in terms of just, if anything else, if nothing else, anticipation of things. You know, I don't know if you noticed the clipping of the wheel at the end of at the start of the second sector. Actually, it's mid second sector, and a curved a corner I always used a great amount of time. I never learned how to properly take it. I have a friend of mine, a great rival of mine back in the days when we've been racing a lot, sim racing, and at one point, being part of this championship, we raced for money basically. Earned as much as €1,000 at the time for it, out of it, and we took it very seriously. I was just 22, he was 21. Anyway, and through that corner alone, he was taking me like, he was gaining on me like 0.3 parts of a second, something like that. And throughout the rest of the track, we were more or less equaled. And that was the only corner where, you know, it made the differentiation between the pole and me being on P3 for the qualifying. And sure enough, what I came to realize after the qualifying, at this point I was very much close to clinching the title, so I honestly did not care that much. But I'm not trying to, you know, belittle his what this guy did, or that he just won it because I didn't care. No, I wanted to win it, but still I didn't push probably as much as I should. Anyway, so, or trained as much as I should. So this guy, what he did, he realized that going for a qualifying lap I'll come on that just in a moment. So while coming up for the qualifying lap, he was going very slow while I was trying to push a bit and worn out the tires just enough for when that corner comes up, his tires will hold on, mine will just drop. So I just couldn't make the corner that quick like him. So he won the pole. Anyway, don't you get motion sickness with longer sessions? I'll tell you, I've done an endurance racing of 3 hours in it. I had no problem, man. I had no problem whatsoever. Zero problems. I don't know how to say this, because that's very valid and, you know, important thing when it comes to VR stuff. The only thing that bothers me using VR is that you get to sweat a lot more. Like, you know, you have it here and it's bothering me. It can be pretty warm and so on. And also is that you don't have the liberty of, if something happens around me and I'm trying to grab, beat, you know, a glass or this or that, I just cannot. I just cannot. You know, you are bound with the VR. So I tend to use the VR more or less with shorter sessions and just have fun. But even on longer sessions, on what you asked, I never had any motion sickness. Never, ever. I drove like 3 hours straight on without stopping. Had no problem. Just a moment, my wife is calling. I have to go out, guys, by the way. Like I said, I'm gonna stream only until 12 o'clock. Yeah, guys, I'll have to go. I have some errands to run. I have to finish some things in town. Yeah, I mean, for today it will be that. Later in the day I'm gonna go in and drop some models that I have from previous sessions. And something that I mentioned earlier in the stream, Blaster was here to hear it. Apparently I knew I made it, but it's kind of, I was, okay, why this piece is missing? So I ended up finding it. So the back of the car actually we have, but it still will have to be redeveloped a bit. It's the part that I've done previously for the client's work when I had to visualize the rear end, but we left out this section here on which I'm working right now. I don't know, yeah, you can see it, I guess. So this whole section was left out. but I've made for them this section here, pretty much all of it. But it's not detailed as much because we never did the engine as it should, like I'm building it right now according to 3D scan. I just build it from references and just to mimic something, to replicate something, to as something is there and so on. So what I'll be doing later on today off stream is that I'll try to reattach that part here. So the next time, actually tomorrow, when you join me guys, you'll have a more visual representation of how this car will look alike with the 3D model. And yeah, I mean, you might not see it now, but this is pretty much like halfway there. Like we'll have this, just imagine it. Look at that now. And let's make this with blend. So we have some reflective shines here. It will look awesome. There is a detail there off. That too. And textured with everything, like with metal. It will be awesome. Then the tubes here, the details on the engine. It will be amazing. Cannot wait to finish it. What I want to make with this car, it's like make it hanging, on strings, like in a museum. I want to point out every detail, like that, for the visualization of static renders and that, which will be done with Unreal Engine and path tracing, and some visualizations using V-Ray in Maya, and that will be that. Okay guys, I need to go, so thank you everyone for stopping by. Loved a lot to hear from you, Blaster, Willem, GK. GK, K would be spelled somehow differently with G and A instead E, so GK he would be. See you soon in next stream. Sure, we will. Yeah, have a nice and productive start of the week guys. Take care.